Hey guys, what's up? It's Derek, and in this video I'm joined by my lovely wife, Rebecca.
Hey guys.
And we wanted to discuss with you guys New Year's resolutions. Most of you, in fact, something like 93% of Americans create New Year's resolutions. But what's even crazier is that most give up on their New Year's resolutions by the middle of January. So my wife and I wanted to discuss with you guys in this video about what we found that has worked for us and what we think you should be doing instead of New Year's resolutions. Let's jump into the video. So as I was saying, guys, according to the American Psychological Association, every year 93% of Americans make New Year's resolutions. Out of those 93%, according to the University of Scranton, only 8% actually achieved their New Year's resolutions. What's even crazier to me is that guess when most people quit their New Year's resolutions? By January 14th. Just 2 weeks after starting their New Year's resolutions, most people wave the white flag and quit.
So Derek and I used to fall into the category where A, we either did not make a New Year's resolution, or B, we made a New Year's resolution but we didn't follow through with it. So we were hoping to share with you what we've learned over the last couple years that has helped us to follow through with our goals.
So the first thing that you need to do before you even write down any of your goals or try to create any type of New Year's resolutions is first creating a vision for your life or a dream for your life. What I mean by that is you need to understand exactly what it is that you want to get out of life. You want to understand very specifically what type of body you want. Instead of saying, I want to lose weight. You need to understand exactly what type of house you want to live in. Exactly the type of car you want to drive. You really need to plan out exactly how you want your life to look in the future. If everything went exactly according to plan and turned out exactly how you wanted it to, your deepest desires, what would your life look like? The best way to do this that we found is through the use of a vision board. Some people call it a dream board. It's basically the same thing. The way that most people do this is by taking a giant white poster board, something you would get at a local craft store, and then taking a bunch of magazines, flipping through them, and cutting out the pictures that kind of line up with what you want out of life. What my wife and I decided to do, or how we do it a little bit differently, is that we actually create a Photoshop canvas, a white Photoshop canvas, and then we go online and just using Google Images, search for what it is that we're looking for. So it might be, the cars we want to drive. For example, we want Tesla vehicles. We want the Tesla Roadster and we want the Tesla SUV. We go through and we look for the exact type of house we want, the style of house we want, and we get that image and we add it to our board. And so we create a vision board or a design for our life of how we want our life to look like. Again, that's if everything goes perfectly according to plan. If tomorrow we woke up and had $100 million and everything in life was perfect and we could snap our fingers and boom, we had the life of our dreams, that's what you're creating with a vision board or with a dream board. You're creating that perfect life. How life would look, how you would look, how your house would look, the type of clothes you'd wear. As specific as you can get, that's what you're trying to do with this vision board.
So once you put together your vision board, you want to get it printed out and then you want to put it somewhere where you can see it every single day.
Yeah, that's a very important step, and I think something that a lot of people forget about. They make their vision board and then they kind of just tuck it away. Why do you think it's so important to have it out in a place where you can see it every single day?
You want to keep it at the front of your brain. That
Makes
way you always remember every day what it is you're trying to accomplish with your life.
Yeah, I agree. I think it helps you keep that in the forefront of your mind. When you see it every day, it kind of reminds you, especially if you can hang it somewhere where like the start of your day you see it. It just reminds you what you're working towards, why the goals that you then create based off that vision board, why you have those goals, what you're trying to accomplish in life and all that stuff. And I think that's a very important point, is making sure that you hang it somewhere where you're going to actually see it every single day.
And another thing with our vision board is it's not just the physical things. We don't have just cars, houses, clothes on our vision board. We also have pictures of people meditating, people doing yoga, because we also believe that your mental health is just as important as the physical things, if not more important.
Right. We do tend to try to not be very materialistic type people. Of course, there are things we want out of life, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that. But as you're saying, we do focus a lot on the mental health side of things as well, including, as you're saying, pictures of people meditating, but also just quotes are on our vision board of, quotes about family, quotes about, spending money wisely and investing properly, quotes about always learning and always being open to learning new things. So again, I think that all relates to the mental side of things. All right, guys, so the second part, and yes, we now have a baby with us on camera. The daughter was keeping an eye on him for us while we were doing the first half of the video, but it's her bedtime, so he's now joining us. The second part, once you have your vision board done, once you have it completed, once you kind of have your life designed, however you want it to look in the future, again, if everything was perfect, the second step is then actually creating your goals. So what most people do is they create New Year's resolutions for the year. What we have found that works better is creating 5-year goals. So you actually want to create goals that are long enough into the future that it gives you time to actually complete them over the course of a couple years. And then you can take those little bit longer goals, that more long-term thinking, and then use those to narrow it down to your more yearly goals and your yearly to-do, things you need to get done year to year, all the way down to your daily tasks. So after you complete the vision board, the second thing that you're going to want to do is create your 5-year goals.
Okay, so the way we set up our 5-year goals is we break it down into 4 categories: family, health, wealth, and personal growth. So under family, we have, our family is interested in entrepreneurship, and we enjoy teaching them about it. Because as some of you know, we have a flipping business that we're working on, as well as content creation. And then health, we meditate and pray daily and have clear, confident minds when we approach each day. One example under wealth is we have an emergency fund that's relatively liquid and easy to access that covers 1 year expenses. And then under personal growth, we travel as much as possible.
And the thing is, when you first sit down and write out your 5-year goals, some of those, I know when I first started doing it, a lot of other people's goals sounded very specific and very well thought out. But the truth is, the only reason those are like that is because we've now been doing them for a couple years, and every year when we redo our 5-year goals at the end of the year, we refine them just a little bit. So they tend to sound a little bit better year after year as you kind of refine them down. So don't be discouraged if you hear some of, you heard some of our examples, you're like, wow, those sound really good. I can't come up with anything like that. When I first started doing these goals, even before I met my wife, on my own, they sounded very basic. They were very basic, and just as I've continued to learn and grow, I've continued to refine them to be more and more of goals that are very specific to myself. And then once me and my wife got together and got married and stuff, that became more refined to ourselves. So the last thing that I really want to say about goals when you actually start writing down your 5-year goals is that you want to make sure that your goals are SMART-ER goals. And what I mean by that is that's actually an acronym that someone came up with that really helps nail it, how your goals should be when you're writing them, the mindset you should have when you're writing them down. So, for example, as SMART-ER goals, the S means specific. You want your goals to be very specific as you can get. The more specific your goal is, the better. So again, just use an example of a common New Year's resolution goal. Instead of it saying something like, I want to lose weight. A specific goal might be, in the year 2020, I want to lose 25 pounds. So you're getting very specific with it. The M in SMART-ER goals means meaningful. What is your why? Make it strong. So, for example, if we, again, just expanded on that same goal, it would then become, in 2020, I want to lose 25 pounds because I want to be able to keep up with my kids. So that gives you your why, your meaning. The A in SMART-ER goal means achievable. So set goals you can achieve. So this just means, you know, you want to set a goal that feels a little difficult to achieve, but you don't want it to feel impossible to achieve. Because if you try to set a goal, for example, let's say you're 100 pounds overweight. You probably aren't going to want to try to lose 100 pounds in 1 year. You're going to want to be realistic with your goals. And obviously, if you hit a goal early, then you can always update it and get. So maybe you start with 25 pounds for the year. Maybe you hit that halfway through the year, so you change it to 50 pounds. But it's better to set a goal that you're actually going to be able to achieve versus, again, it should be a little out of your comfort zone, but you don't want something that's going to seem impossible. The R in SMART-ER goals means relevant. So set goals that are relevant to your life and your values. The T is time bound. So this just means, again, in that example, they're 5-year goals. That specific one might be in 2020. I want to lose 25 pounds. So you're setting the time frame, an end in time. And then the E means evaluate. So once a year, we evaluate our 5-year goals. At the end of every year, we evaluate those goals. And then R is readjust. So we update our goals or adjust them, readjust them to better fit whatever it is, you know, maybe some of your values throughout the years have changed. Or for example, there's been times we've created goals on our list and at the end of the year we've realized, you know, we actually don't care about doing that. We actually don't care about meeting that goal. Instead, we care about this. And so we might change goals completely. So you just want to have a time at the end of the year where you evaluate and then readjust your goals as well. And that's how you create smarter goals instead of just, you know, as I said at the very beginning of this video, very generic or very unspecific goals. And by doing that, it'll help you keep those goals and actually complete them and actually achieve them.
So what I would like to add is having the specific goals definitely makes them easier to achieve. So since I've met Derek and we've done our 5-year goals together, we've consciously made an effort to eat healthier, to spend less so that we can pay off our debts so that we have more expendable money in the future to do things that we want to do, like travel, see different countries, see all the national parks in the United States and things like that.
And I think the last step or the last thing that's helped us, and to be honest, this is something we're still working on and still figuring out, is once you have your vision board or your dream board, and then you create from that your 5-year goals, meaning goals that are designed to help you get towards that vision or towards those dreams. The last step is then bringing that down into, you know, yearly goals, and then even beyond that, breaking it down into your daily tasks that you need to get done to reach your goals. So for example, if, you know, one of your goals is to run a marathon and you've never rode a marathon in your life, you're going to have to train for that marathon. Meaning your 1-year goal might be get to the point where I'm able to jog 5 miles. You know, that's 1-year goals. Then your daily goals might be, you know, go for a jog today. And keeping track of those tends to be a little difficult, keeping them in front of you, from my experience. The best ways that I've found so far that has helped me is 2 methods. Number 1, the use... What are you doing, boy? Number 1, the use of a bullet journal. A bullet journal is just basically a template for creating a journal that allows you to plan out your year, your month, and then your specific days. It also is a method for allowing you to capture, you know, thoughts you may have throughout the day. So it's not just a glorified to-do list, it's a kind of a life management journal. including to-do lists, monthly to-do lists, reminders of birthdays and things like that. Yo, why are you throwing the phone on the floor while we're trying to do this, dude? Huh? But it allows you to keep track of your reminders. Again, when you read books, you can keep book notes in it. It's just a system that allows you to kind of organize everything in your life, which then helps you complete the things that you need to do to accomplish your goals and your vision. Outside of that, personally, I'm more of a digital person. So a to-do app works best for me for my daily tasks and for keeping track of all the things I need to get done. So I like using an app called TickTick, which allows me to create lists in which I have all the different things that I need to get done, and then I can go into those lists and plan out my day of, I'm going to do these tasks today. And then I use the bullet journal more for the monthly and the yearly, and then also for taking notes and things like that. But for the day-to-day to-do list, I prefer using a to-do app like TickTick. Some other examples is Asana. I don't really know any others. But again, those are the two I've tried. TickTick I like best so far. Before I use either of those apps, I was just using Google Calendar. Basically, whatever works best for you is the best method to do that. But for me, the use of a bullet journal along with a to-do list app has seemed to be the right balance for me.
I think the bullet journal is a great idea if you can stick with it. I unfortunately have the trouble of not completing my bullet journal every day. I'll get on a good kick where I'll do it for a couple months at a time, and then I get busy or I forget it at home one day, and then.
Well, and I think that kind of takes me to my last point in all of this, is that the bottom line is, whether it's a vision board, whether it's 5-year goals, whether it's a bullet journal, whether it's a to-do list app. The bottom line is you got to find what works best for you out of all this. And this is just one method. This is just our method of trying to lay out our vision, achieve our vision, achieve our goals, and to keep everything in our lives organized around that so that we actually have a better chance of achieving our vision. If you've done New Year's resolutions in the past and they've worked for you, you should probably keep doing New Year's resolutions. Wouldn't you agree?
Yes.
And so again, this is all just another method of trying to do this. And so the whole point of this video wasn't to say you 100% shouldn't do New Year's resolutions. It's more of, this is, New Year's resolutions didn't work for us, and if they don't work for you or haven't worked for you, here's another method that might work for you. And I think the one thing out of them, more so than, like I said, the last thing we've been figuring out, which is to-do list and bullet journal, is really the vision board and the 5-year goals. I think that has helped us tremendously. As my wife was saying, in the last just couple years of us meeting and being married, we've paid off $20,000 in credit card debt. I'm healthier than I've ever been. I'm a little overweight, but I work out every day with weights and stuff, and I'm stronger than I have ever been in my life in terms of muscle. I eat healthier than I ever have in my life, even though I might be overweight. Before I started doing all this, my diet was just fast food and candy. Like, literally, that was it. We've traveled quite a bit. We've done a lot of different travel things in the last couple of years. We've gone to New York City several times. We've really prioritized where we want to spend our money. And again, this is what, for us, has really helped us start to do all this, I think. Would you agree, or?
I do agree.
Yo, loudmouth. Bubby's getting tired. So, with that said, guys, that's our method of doing it. The kid's getting tired. I think we're going to call it a night. Get him put to bed. But thanks so much for watching, as always. Hopefully we were able to provide some value to you guys. Hopefully we were able to, help you guys if you're kind of been like us and trying to reach your goals or your vision or your dreams, and you always find yourself falling short not ever sticking with your New Year's resolutions, maybe this could help. And if you guys would like to see specific videos maybe on how we put together a vision board, or how we sit down and write our 5-year goals, or how to actually sit down and do a bullet journal, there are plenty of videos out there that'll teach you the template to do that. But if you'd like to see us specifically sit down with you and show you how to do that, let us know in the comments below. I'm sure we'd be happy to do another video like that in the future. But again, I hope we were able to add some value to at least get the cogs turning in your mind. And yeah, so with that said, thanks so much for watching. If you guys are not subscribed, subscribe by hitting the red button below. Hit the bell to get notified when we post new videos. Hit the like button if you like this video. And until next time,
Peace.
Peace out, everybody.